Building a competitive edge in a crowded legal market, how to stand out when everyone has the same GPA and credentials. In today's saturated legal market, you face an increasingly common dilemma as a law student: how to differentiate yourself when academic achievements and credentials look remarkably similar across applicant pools. Top law schools produce graduates with comparable GPAs, journal experiences, and clinical credentials, making traditional differentiators less effective. Law firms and legal employers increasingly seek candidates who bring something beyond academic excellence to the table. Understanding how to build and communicate a competitive edge has become essential for you if you're an ambitious law student navigating this challenging landscape. Beyond the transcript, developing substantive specialization. While maintaining strong academic performance remains important, building expertise in specific practice areas creates distinction in a crowded field. You should consider identifying emerging or specialized areas of law where you can develop deeper knowledge than your peers. Focusing on sectors experiencing regulatory change or technological disruption allows you to position yourself as forward-thinking. Areas such as privacy law, cryptocurrency regulation, artificial intelligence governance, healthcare compliance, and environmental law offer opportunities for specialization that may set you apart from generalist candidates. The key is not merely taking courses in these areas, but developing genuine expertise through focused research, writing, and practical experience. When you can speak with authority and insight about specialized legal issues that few of your peers understand deeply, you create a compelling value proposition for employers seeking specialists rather than generalists. Complementary skills, the multidisciplinary advantage. Today's legal practice increasingly requires skills beyond traditional legal analysis. If you combine legal knowledge with complementary abilities, you create a unique professional profile that stands out to employers. Consider developing proficiency in areas such as data analytics and quantitative skills. Understanding how to analyze and interpret data offers tremendous value in litigation, compliance, and transaction work. Technical knowledge. Familiarity with technology systems, programming basics, or industry-specific technical concepts can distinguish you in technology-adjacent practice areas. Financial literacy. Strong understanding of financial concepts, accounting principles, and business operations proves invaluable across practice areas. Project management. Experience managing complex initiatives demonstrates capabilities beyond legal analysis that translate directly to practice. Language skills. Proficiency in languages beyond English opens doors to international practice and multicultural client representation. Rather than attempting to master multiple complementary skills simultaneously, identify one or two areas aligned with your interests and career goals. Developing genuine proficiency in a complementary discipline creates a distinctive professional identity that transcends the standard law school credentials. Relationship capital. Building networks that matter. In a profession where relationships drive opportunities, deliberate network building offers another avenue for differentiation. While many law students engage in superficial networking, if you approach relationship building strategically and authentically, you'll develop connections that yield meaningful advantages. The most valuable professional relationships aren't necessarily with the most senior attorneys or highest profile practitioners. Instead, focus on building genuine connections with individuals who practice in your areas of interest, share personal or professional backgrounds and experiences, demonstrate values and approaches to practice that align with yours, show genuine interest in supporting your development, and quality matters far more than quantity. Rather than collecting business cards at networking events, invest time in deeper conversations and follow-up engagement with select individuals. Cultivate relationships through meaningful interactions where you demonstrate value, not just extract it. Remember that relationship building extends beyond the legal profession. Connections in adjacent industries, potential client sectors, or community organizations may ultimately prove more valuable than those within legal circles alone. Professional narrative, crafting your story. In a market where credentials appear interchangeable, the ability to articulate a compelling professional narrative creates significant advantage. Employers don't merely hire transcripts, they hire individuals whose professional journeys make sense and suggest future potential. Developing your professional narrative requires identifying the through line that connects your experiences, explains your choices, and points toward your future. This isn't fabrication, but rather thoughtful reflection on the authentic motivations and interests that have shaped your path. Your narrative should explain why you chose law as a profession, what particular aspects of practice engage your interests, how your pre-law and law school experiences connect to your professional goals, what distinctive perspective or approach you bring to legal practice. When crafted effectively, this narrative helps employers understand what drives you beyond grades and credentials, giving them insight into how you might contribute to their organization's culture and success. Personal brand visibility and thought leadership. While many law students shy away from public visibility, if you thoughtfully build professional recognition, you gain significant advantages. Developing a personal brand through published work, speaking engagements, or digital presence creates recognition that transcends credentials. Consider opportunities to publish substantive legal analysis in journals, blogs, or industry publications. Speak at conferences or webinars in your areas of interest. Develop a focused professional social media presence. Create useful legal resources for specific communities or practice areas. Participate in legal innovation competitions or hackathons. The goal isn't self-promotion, but rather establishing yourself as a thoughtful contributor to conversations in your areas of interest. When done authentically, these activities demonstrate intellectual engagement and initiative that distinguish you from equally qualified peers. Emotional intelligence, the undervalued differentiator. Perhaps the most powerful yet frequently overlooked differentiator in legal hiring is emotional intelligence. In a profession stereotypically associated with analytical skills, if you demonstrate exceptional interpersonal abilities, you'll stand out significantly. Emotional intelligence in legal practice encompasses self-awareness about strengths, weaknesses, and triggers, ability to read social dynamics and organizational cultures, skill in navigating difficult conversations and negotiations, capacity to build rapport with diverse individuals, resilience in facing professional challenges. These qualities signal to employers that you'll work effectively with colleagues, handle client relationships skillfully, and navigate the interpersonal challenges of practice. While less quantifiable than credentials, emotional intelligence often becomes the deciding factor when firms choose between candidates with similar academic profiles. Strategic positioning, finding your optimal market. Rather than competing in the most crowded segments of the legal market, consider whether alternative practice settings might better value your particular combination of skills and interests. Many law students focus exclusively on traditional firm practice when their competitive advantage might be stronger in government agencies aligned with their policy interests, in-house departments, and industries where they have prior experience. Legal technology companies seeking legally trained professionals. Nonprofit organizations addressing causes they care about. Alternative legal service providers revolutionizing legal delivery. Identifying environments where your specific background, skills, and interests create maximum value allows you to compete on more favorable terms. The goal isn't lowering your ambitions, but rather finding settings where your particular strengths create distinctive value. Conclusion: the integration of differentiation strategies. Building a competitive edge doesn't require extraordinary credentials or superhuman abilities. Rather, it demands thoughtful integration of specialization, complementary skills, relationships, narrative, visibility, emotional intelligence, and strategic positioning. The most successful law students approach differentiation as an ongoing process rather than a one-time achievement. They continually refine their professional identities, develop new capabilities, and adjust their positioning as they gain experience and clarity about their strengths. In a crowded market where traditional credentials have become table stakes rather than differentiators, your competitive edge ultimately comes from understanding what makes your professional identity valuable and communicating that value authentically to those who might benefit from it. By approaching your professional development with this mindset, you position yourself not just to survive in a competitive market, but to thrive by offering something genuinely distinctive.